What if I told you the world's richest country, the United States, just got completely outplayed by China, twice in a single week, and the fallout could hit every single American investor, farmer, and worker, even if they have no idea what just happened? We're talking about a diplomatic beatdown that exposed just how fragile America's grip on global power has really become. And you need to know why. Because these moves will ripple through your investments, your job security, and maybe even your future. Stick around, because at the end, I'll reveal a pattern that always shows up right before a market crash, and you'll want to be the first to spot it. Hey, I'm your buddy investor. I've spent years breaking down the big stories that shape your money and turning all that noise into simple, practical steps that anyone can use to get ahead, no matter what chaos is happening in the world. My whole mission is to help you reach financial freedom faster, even when the headlines sound like the sky is falling. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an update, because this channel is all about keeping you prepared, motivated, and one step ahead. Alright, let's break this down. This isn't just another news story about politicians arguing on TV. This is about power shifting right before our eyes. And if you think this stuff doesn't touch your everyday life, your portfolio, your paycheck, your future, you'd better think again. So, what happened? Let's set the scene. The United States just tried to flex its muscles on the world stage. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, handpicked to be the tough guy at the negotiation table, was sent out to get a big win. The plan was simple: pressure China into a trade deal, show American strength, and prove to the world that Washington still calls the shots. This wasn't just any deal. It was about rare earth minerals, trade, manufacturing, basically the backbone of the modern US economy. Washington thought it had all the cards. They went into a high-stakes meeting in Stockholm, Sweden, convinced they could force Beijing to give in. The old playbook? Push hard, act tough, threaten tariffs, demand more. It's the same strategy that's worked before on smaller countries. Just raise the pressure until the other side cracks. And for years, it worked. Countries like Canada, Mexico, and even the entire European Union have been strong-armed into submission, giving the US deals that tilted the playing field in America's favor. But here's where it gets really interesting. China isn't playing by those rules anymore. When the Trump administration slapped China with massive tariffs, thinking Beijing would come crawling back, China just didn't. Instead, they hit back. Hard. They put their own tariffs on US goods, targeting American farmers, tech companies, and manufacturers right where it hurts. And then, China did something even smarter. They started building up their own supply chains, becoming more self-reliant, especially in the stuff the US needs most: rare earth minerals, the essential ingredients in everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to fighter jets and advanced tech. Quick fact: China controls over 60% of the world's rare earth supply. That means if they decide to squeeze the faucet, the entire American tech industry, defense sector, and manufacturing backbone could be in deep trouble. That's leverage. And the thing is, China knew it. They played it cool, calm, and collected. No drama, no panic, no concessions. Beijing wasn't about to get bullied, and they made it clear: we're not the European Union, we're not folding. You know what happened next? The pressure flipped. Suddenly, it was the US side sweating. American tech giants like Apple, Tesla, and Qualcomm started feeling the pain. Sales to China dropped. Supply chains got squeezed. Costs went up. Even American farmers across the Midwest, who had relied on China as a major buyer, watched their exports tank. Soybeans, corn, wheat, you name it, all hit hard. Washington thought they were playing tough, but the people actually paying the price were regular American workers, investors, and small business owners. Sound familiar? If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, but this is just politics, right? It'll blow over? Let me tell you, this isn't just about one failed deal. This is about a shift in global power, and if you're not watching what's happening, you're missing the signs that could shake up your investments for years. Let's zoom back in. The talks in Stockholm were supposed to be a slam dunk. Scott Bessent was sent to close the deal and bring home a win for Washington. Instead, he got stonewalled. The Chinese delegation stood their ground. No panic, no rushing, just a quiet refusal to give in. While Bessent and his team tried to push deadlines and flex American muscle, China calmly dragged out the talks, refused to sign anything official, and basically said, "If you want a deal, you'll do it on our terms." Now, inside the US team, you could feel the tension. Some wanted to turn up the heat even more. Others started to worry, if we push too hard, will China just walk away for good? Because the truth is, Beijing knew that America needed this deal more than they did. And when you're negotiating from a position of need, you're already losing. Let's be real. For decades, America could dictate terms because it had the leverage. But now, China's sitting at the table with the upper hand. Rare earth minerals, massive factories, and a booming domestic market all working in their favor, and they're not afraid to play the long game. At the end of 2 grueling days, the only thing the US got was a handshake promise to pause new tariffs. No signed deal, no concrete concessions, just a temporary truce, set to expire soon, and a whole lot of uncertainty hanging over the heads of American investors and business owners. The message from Beijing? We'll think about it. Call us when you're ready to get serious. But wait, it gets even worse for the US. While all this drama was playing out in Sweden, another high-stakes move was happening on the other side of the world. The BlackRock-led deal for control of the Panama Canal. You want to talk about power games? This was supposed to be a big, bold American comeback. A plan to take back control from China over one of the most important shipping routes in the world. President Trump even called it a strategic win. But when it came time to close the deal, the US couldn't deliver. Chinese regulators pushed back. Chinese state media slammed the deal as weak, and when the deadline hit, the American side missed it. No agreement, no victory. Now the tables have turned. The Chinese are negotiating directly, and Beijing is about to reclaim control over those critical Panama Canal ports. Meanwhile, inside Panama itself, politicians are stirring up more chaos, launching lawsuits, and threatening to unravel years of infrastructure deals. For the US, it's a double loss. First backing down in the trade talks with China, then fumbling the ball in the fight for the Panama Canal. So, what's the big takeaway here? Why should you, as an investor, or just someone trying to build a future, actually care? Because these stories reveal a massive truth. The old strategies aren't working anymore. The playbook that let America bully its way into favorable deals, squeeze competitors, and dictate global terms. It's breaking down in real time. China's not just resisting, they're playing to win. And if you want to survive and thrive in this new era, you need to be paying attention. Let me hit pause here and ask, are you finding this breakdown helpful? If you want more real talk on how these global moves affect your financial freedom, go ahead and subscribe right now. It's the easiest way to stay ahead of the curve and get the inside scoop before everyone else. Okay, so how do we make sense of all this as investors? Let's look at the real lessons and the real steps you can take to protect and grow your money, even as the headlines keep getting scarier. Lesson 1. Leverage is everything. In any negotiation, the side with the leverage wins. China used its control over rare earths and its massive market to put the US on the back foot. What does that mean for your investments? Look for companies and funds with real durable advantages, what Warren Buffett calls a moat. You want assets that can't easily be squeezed, cut off, or bullied. Think index funds with global diversification. Think dividend stocks in essential sectors, energy, utilities, healthcare, companies that provide what the world can't live without. Lesson 2. Be wary of overexposure. US tech giants who bet everything on the Chinese market are now feeling the sting. Diversify your portfolio so you're not depending on one country, one sector, or one political outcome. Even if you love a stock like Apple or Tesla, don't let it make up your entire future. Lesson 3. Crises create opportunity. When the headlines scream disaster, that's often when the smart money quietly starts buying. Remember, during the 2008 financial crisis, the S&P 500 fell almost 50%, terrifying for most. But do you know who kept buying? Warren Buffett. He always says, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. It's a cliche for a reason, because it works. Lesson 4. Watch the supply chains. The modern economy runs on invisible threads, rare earths, semiconductors, shipping lanes. If any one of these gets squeezed, the dominoes fall fast. It's never been more important to know what your investments rely on. Read up on global supply chains. Follow the news, yes, but dig deeper. Books like The World for Sale by Javier Blas or Prisoners of Geography by Tim Marshall are great places to start. You don't have to be an expert, but being aware gives you a huge edge. Now, let's break for a story, because real life shows these lessons better than anything. Picture Warren Buffett in the 1960s. He started out as just a kid in Omaha, reading every book he could get his hands on. When everyone else was chasing the next hot stock, Buffett was looking for solid companies with unshakable foundations. He avoided the hype, ignored the panic, and stuck to his strategy, even when everyone thought he was boring. Fast forward, he's now one of the richest people in history, and his company, Berkshire Hathaway, has outperformed nearly every index for decades. You don't have to be Buffett to use his playbook. It's about staying calm when others panic, building your moat, and making steady, rational moves, no matter what's happening in Washington or Beijing. And here's a story closer to home. A buddy of mine, let's call him Jake, started investing with just $100 a month back in 2012. He focused on low-fee index funds and added a few high-dividend stocks in utilities and consumer goods. He didn't try to time the market or chase every new headline. Through trade wars, market panics, and even a global pandemic, Jake just kept investing. 12 years later, his net worth has grown more than he ever thought possible. Not by picking the next big thing, but by sticking to the basics. His secret? He didn't get scared out of the market when the world looked like it was falling apart. Let me leave you with some practical steps you can take right now. Diversify globally. Don't put all your eggs in the US basket. Look for funds that invest worldwide. Prioritize companies with real moats. Think boring, steady, essential, water utilities, railroads, big pharma. Keep some dry powder. In other words, always have some cash ready to deploy when the market drops and fear is everywhere. Read. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading. Make it a habit to learn, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. Block out the noise. Headlines will scare you. Politicians will make big promises. But the market rewards patience and discipline, not panic. Still with me? Good. Because this is the stuff that separates the people who reach financial independence from those who stay stuck in fear and reaction mode. And one last thing before we go. Remember, this channel is all about helping you become financially free, no matter what's happening in the world. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. I'm here to help you make sense of the chaos and find opportunity where others see only risk. Now, if you want to really level up your financial radar, don't miss my next video. This is what always happens before a market crash. I'll break down the signs, the patterns, and the steps you can take to stay safe, and maybe even profit when everyone else is running for the exits. The biggest opportunities show up when fear is highest. Want to spot them before the crowd? Click over to that video now and I'll see you there. Stay smart, stay motivated, and remember, you're closer to financial freedom than you think. See you in the next one.